Do you feel like you have a good grasp on basic design principles for the web? Great, because now we're going to put them to the test. Let's look at a few different websites on the internet and judge them in terms of their basic web design. Because all sites are prone to frequent updating, you may discover that when you look at these sites, they'll have changed from the version we analyze here. They might have even improved. That's just the way the web works. In order to assess these sites, we'll use a rubric based on our criteria for judging websites. The 4 major questions to consider are, does the site design have all the basic components it needs, such as header, footer, and navigation bar? Does the site have good information design with clear navigation, contact information, and a link back to the home page? Does the site have good overall design? And are all technical elements of the site working? We'll use this rubric to grade each element with a letter grade. As our first example, let's check out a website featuring the work of a popular fantasy writer, Neil Gaiman. Go ahead and pause this video so that we can take a look and explore the site. The website can be found at www.neilgaiman.com. So now that we've looked at this web page, let's answer our questions. First, does the site have all the basic components? Yes. The header is right above the navigation bar, and the footer is easy to spot. And we can clearly tell who the website is about, thanks to the header and photographs. This rates an A on the rubric. Next, does the site have good information design? Well, the layout of the pages is pretty clear, but the links on the navigation bar are a little hard to read. Because they're all in a similar color, they run together, like one word. Also, there is no link to the home page in the navigation bar. Clicking on the image header returns us to the home page, but that won't be obvious to most users. This ranks a C on the rubric. How about the overall design? This can be pretty subjective, but each page shows a nice use of color and layout, and the pages definitely seem to indicate a unified, whole, clean, and professional look. A lot of thought and work clearly went into the design of this site, thus earning it an A. If the site had a more bare-bones look, we might instead give it a B. Technically, the site is also totally operational. There are no broken links, and on a basic broadband internet connection, the graphics are very quick to load, which isn't bad at all. This also ranks an A. Overall, Neil Gaiman's site ranks pretty highly on our rubric, but does still have some flaws, which is natural when it comes to web design. Let's go to an example of a student's digital portfolio. Why don't we pause this video and explore the site? Now, let's whip out our rubric. Question 1. Does this site have all the basic components? Brian has a very clear header and navigation bar for his page, but no footer. So there's no clear ending for his pages. They just sort of peter out. And the useful information that footers contain, such as contact information and a copyright notice, are not easy to find. We could give him a B for this section. Question 2. Does the site have good information design? Brian does make sure to clearly display his email address below his picture in his navigation bar. And the navigation bar is clearly laid out, with a link to his homepage at the top. Overall, It's easy to find the information we're looking for as we explore the site. There's a good use of headers and page layout to keep things organized. Brian gets an A. Question 3. Does this site have good overall design? Again, this is subjective. Brian uses some fun multimedia elements on his videos page, like visually striking rollover images. But while Brian uses a similar layout throughout the site, the colors and graphics vary so much from page to page that the unity between each isn't very clear. Using a more consistent color scheme would do a lot to make this site feel like a complete whole. Brian gets a B. Question 4. Is this site working on a technical level? Well, the site loads fairly quickly, and with one exception, all the links are quick loading and working. The only page that isn't loading for us is the competencies page. We're instead redirected to an authorized users only screen. Given that this is a link to Brian's resume, including private contact information, this is actually a very smart choice. So Brian gets an A here as well. Finally, let's examine the sort of portfolio site we can make using myspace.com, a free instant publishing service. As our example, we'll go to the profile for the R&B artist India RE at myspace.com/IndiaRE. Go ahead and pause this video so we can explore this site. Question 1. Are all the basic components there? Well, the MySpace header is pretty obvious, but India RE's actual headline is much smaller and harder to find unless we know what we're looking for. Rather than a navigation bar, the links are various bits of content spread out all over the page. But there is a clear footer at the very bottom of the page. We'll grade this as a C in the rubric. Question 2. Does this site have good information design? Well, the music samples are easy to access, and information about India RE and her upcoming shows is right below. There's not a lot of organization to it, however. There could also be clearer links to her contact information. We'll grade this as a B. Question 3. Does this site have good overall design? The background is nice, and the designer has come up with interesting ways to personalize the links and text of the typical MySpace profile page, which more frequently looks like this. But when we click on the upcoming shows subpage, we discover that there's no unity of design between the two pages, beyond a generic MySpace header. This also rates a B. Question 4. Is this site working on a technical level? To a degree. All the links are working, but the page is so physically long that it takes a long time to load. And the music player also adds to that load time. So let's rate this as a B as well. These were 3 very different examples of portfolio sites. One professionally designed, one student designed, and one a mix between the two and free. But all of them had good elements, and all of them had flaws. Is there such a thing as the perfect website? Probably not. There are so many complicated elements involved that there's always going to be something you could be doing better. And everyone has different tastes, so opinions will always vary based on who's judging. All you can aim for is your best. And the best websites are the ones that manage to be clean and usable, while also looking good. Style does matter on the internet, but substance matters just a little bit more.